So welcome, friends, one more time to this panel. You know that this event is one of the members of the conference network of ISTQB, which is also giving us some duties to cover, which is, one of them is to talk about ISTQB explicitly, which is, I think, ISTQB deserves it. So many people, millions of people are in a way related to this beautiful organization. And my panelists here, they are really very critical people in ISTQB. One of the VIP members are here. Seba is also joined. So we are waiting for Olivier. So I would like to tell them welcome on board, and it will be a pleasure to talk to you. Yeah, Olivier, you have Seba on the back. Yeah, you use Seba as a wallpaper, so it's nice. Okay, guys, don't disrupt my panel. You know, I am moderator, and you are hard to be moderated, guys. Okay, so Joel deserves the first place as an announcement. Sorry, guys, he was here all day. So Joel, what are you doing, my dear friend? So what do you do? How is your relation with ISTQB? Yeah, please introduce yourself.
Well, short introduction. So before joining ISTQB, of course, I was also a founding member of the Portuguese Software Testing and Qualification Board, so the local board for the Portuguese community. And later on, I joined the marketing working group, where I had the pleasure to work with Seba for some years now, and it's been a great adventure. But also joining the community around the world. And just to introduce some numbers, because we are talking about more or less, almost 70 different member boards from almost 120 different countries. Okay, and we are just talking about the boards and the persons involved on the ISTQB. We're not talking about all the countries where we have testers that are certified. So this, I believe, a great representation of the software testing community that is working together as a volunteer work, okay, under the ISTQB umbrella. And as I was the first one to start, I just want to give the congratulations to the organization. It has been a great fun until now. As you said, I joined. And I always try to join the conference also to learn with other speakers. And the second congratulations goes to Olivier. Happy birthday from yesterday.
Yeah, I missed that because I was sleeping, my boy, at night. I was about to write him something. Yeah, sorry, Olivier. That is why you came late. Yeah, maybe you are angry with me, and yeah, I deserved it. So thank you, Joel, for being here, and let me pass the ball to my dear Hungarian friend. The name is Szilard Szell. And how are you, my dear friend? What do you do, and can you introduce yourself to us?
Absolutely, Barış, absolutely. Thank you very much for inviting me. Yeah, this is the Hungarian living in Finland, finally in a sunny Finland. So, it's summer both days. You need to be cautious when you enjoy the sun here. Yes, I'm Szilard Szell. I'm also a member of ISTQB. So I've been president of the Hungarian testing board previously. And then when I moved to Finland, I decided to contribute more to the ISTQB itself. So I was the workgroup chair of the processes. So kind of the internal way of how do we develop products, how do we approach things, how do we keep quality in-house. So how do we have a good processes in place within ISTQB to work in a repeatable, in a as high quality as possible manner. So that was my task. And yes, it's really great to see the community here and a lot of people. I always love to have the feeling of, you know, people whose heart is beating for the same thing as mine, quality assurance and providing better software for the world.
Thank you, my dear friend, and welcome on board again. I could not see Seba, but he should be hiding behind Olivier. Yeah, where are you, my? Seba is also not small as me, so you should observe him from different places. Yeah, but where are you, my dear friend? Okay, while you are preparing yourself to us, let me give it to. Are you here? Tell me something.
Yes, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yes, we. And now we can
have.
see.
Okay. Oliver, can you disable? So we are in the same room with Oliver. We would like to have, you know, our interesting even more vivid, and to have two people in the same room, you know, discussing very aggressively between each other. So that was the plan. As usually, the technology kills us, and we are too big to be on the same camera in the same time. So about me, yeah. I'm currently president of the Polish testing board. Also, I have pleasure to work in the marketing working group, still as a chair, as Joel already mentioned. And since it was a month ago, I don't really recall, I was elected to be secretary of the ISTQB, so I joined to the beloved exec group. Thank you, Szilard. And now I'm in process of being a teacher or coach by the Oliver. That's why I'm in his position, and he punished me in case I have stupid idea that what should I do in the ISTQB. So I'm in the school again.
Yeah, again, my dear friends, it is a big curiosity on our side. What are you doing in the same room? But yeah, we will discuss it. I don't know while we are somewhere alone. Okay, I will skip that point. Thank you.
Yes,
Seb.
please do it.
Thank you, my dear friend. And yes, Olivier Denoo, how are you? Welcome and happy birthday. We wish you a wonderful life. Yes, we are now listening to you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. So, yeah, actually, there are strange things happening in the ISTQB. We're very close friends, so we're in the same room. We can't live anymore separately. So, just a small introduction, I guess, of myself. Well, my story with the ISTQB, my journey begins in 2012, and I have taken several roles in there. My first roles were in governance, so making sure that the ISTQB goes round and that conflicts can be managed in a smooth way, as smooth as possible. And then I joined the exec right after that, first as president for 2 terms. And because of the constitution of the ISTQB, I cannot stay forever and ever after. So I just been re-elected as vice president very recently. So I'm working in the exec now together with Seba, and we are getting for the exec meeting right after, which is the real reason why he is in my home today.
Very nice introduction. Yeah. When you are talking about I cannot stay in the chair forever and ever, I look at my country. It is not valid for my dear country, unfortunately. Our chairs are fully occupied from top to bottom. So yeah, we hope that we will sort it out one day. Okay, so guys, thank you.
I feel you, Barış.
Yeah, thank you.
I feel you as well, but leave that away.
Thank you so much. So, not getting into politics and trying to keep it professional. So now let me ask you I have sent you some questions to get you to make yourself prepared for my bullets. So, of course, I'm not going through those questions, guys. these were just fake questions. I want to make it hard for you. Here we want to talk about yeah, Olivier, you want to tell me something?
Oh, no. I was just expecting what sort of questions you're going to ask, these kind of, whatever
Yeah,
comes in your mind.
start smoothly. Okay, so let me start with Szilard. So, Szilard, how do you, what do you think about next generation testing? So what will happen in near future? I don't mean 10, 20 years, but within 10 years time, would you expect some drastic changes in the industry?
Well, I don't think we can go as far as 10 years, right? It's already happening. And I think what is happening, and of course I will talk about that thing, that how you start any of the testing activity in the morning is like, oh, how are you, ChatGPT, today? How will you help me out today?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that will be exactly the thing. If you know about the copilot that is being built now into the development tools a lot, that coders are getting immediate help how to write the code. They just say like, can you explain me this code? Here it is. Can you give testing ideas for this code? Yeah, there are a few testing ideas on code level, right? We're talking about unit test level there. I think this will be exactly the way. You are sitting in the middle of the domain where you are. You might be sitting on top of huge amount of data coming out from operations. And you ask the question, tell me where is the bottleneck now? Tell me what are my technical risks now? Or if you are lucky enough to have requirements, you just throw that into the ChatGPT and ask like, okay, tell me where should I start? Tell me where the risks are. Or you just describe your domain and get back like, what are the risks there? So just recently, like really seriously yesterday, I was talking a bit with ChatGPT how to focus on cloud infrastructure and Kubernetes scalability related testing. What would be the best areas to look into? Give me a few points and start to describe what are the risks in that area. So I feel this is where it will go. We will get the copilot for testing. We will get testing ideas from the AI. And we will still be responsible and accountable for the test we do. So we need to understand what we got from the AI and does it make sense? So you just cannot push the responsibility to that thing. It will be still you who are responsible. For that, you need to understand what did you get? Is that correct? You need to validate the answers. And then you need to learn how to ask the damn thing to help you out the best way. And after you have those areas, you can get, ideas on how to write the code. So give me Gherkin syntax. That is going on already now. I'm like just asking, like, can you give me, these ideas, scenarios? Oh, can you give me in Gherkin syntax, given when then? So you already got the first level of robot framework. And then from there is just development. Sorry, I don't want to hurt anyone. It's absolutely critical thing. But I believe this is one way we need to prepare for. And in my word, this is what I see the most critical thing. And yeah, the other one would be continuous testing and DevOps and everything. But I don't go there yet. I let the others to shine.
Got it. Very, very nice points you made. So there is one problem. We were facing with it before AI alone. Now we have AI and we will get help, but still we will be responsible, you said. Now I will go to Joel. And we were all with this group of nice people. We have been in many different countries, many different cities, many different conferences, talking together, sharing stages and so on. And I remember some sessions like manual testing is dead. So we love automation, something like that. and we were defending heavily the manual testing part. I remember. So none of you guys, I remember, hating manual testing or just telling that manual testing would die, whatever. So Joel, what do you think about humanless testing? Will it be the case within 10 years' time? So yeah, Szilard says that, yeah, you should be responsible, but maybe not. Maybe you won't be responsible. What do you think about it? Is there a possibility that we will be testing without humans?
So automation killed manual testers, right? So they are all dead, and now AI will kill automation testers. Well, I didn't saw that. I don't believe that will happen. But before that, Barış, please let me just go to the previous topic and be a little bit more provocative. So you asked about this AI and ChatGPT is all over the place, and what will be the next generation, right? So my opinion, and again, being a little bit provocative, I think we are creating a generation of lazy professionals, okay? And not the good laziness, okay? Let me explain why. Some years ago, everyone remembers the Stack Overflow, right? When the Stack Overflow came, and before that, we had some good professionals that actually went through the documentation. They actually learned how to use the tools. They actually learned how to use the language that they were programming on. And I have a very good example of a developer that was facing an issue. The code that he wrote was not working. And I tried to understand, okay, what he did, why was that? At that moment, I was still on the dark side. I was still on the development side, okay? And I was trying to understand why this code that this developer was writing was not working. And then I realized that he got the code from Stack Overflow. So he was not able to explain the code. He just went to Stack Overflow, he writes some questions, he got some code, copy and paste the code, and it was not working. Later on, I realized that the code was actually the source code of the API that he was trying to use. Okay, so he was trying to use something with the source code. Of course, that will not work and was never going to work, but he didn't realize that. Because he was just copying and paste. So he shut down the most important tool that he has, that it was the brain, okay? So now we are seeing ChatGPT. And for me, again, the most important tool that we have as a testers is the brain. And unfortunately, we tend to see some professionals that forget that. And they just go to ChatGPT and say, okay, help me how to test this or how to define a test strategy. And then they just copy and paste what ChatGPT is giving to them. And this is just the start. I think it will get worse and worse and worse. So we will become copy and pasters, right? We go to ChatGPT, we copy, and then we paste somewhere else. And then someone asks, oh, can you explain what you are just saying? Oh, give me 1 second. I go to ChatGPT. ChatGPT, can you explain what you gave me? Right? So we will not be using our brain. We will just use the brain from ChatGPT.
And if you don't use your brain, you know what, if any part of your body is not used, you know what happens, huh?
Exactly. So we need to keep training it. And so for me, that's the major risk. Okay. So and if we stop using our brain, then for sure, we can be easily replaced by ChatGPT or any other test automation tool. So for me, that's the major risk.
Very nice point. So from here, I took it and send it now to Seba. So, but I will convert it into something else. Seba, you know, yeah, like Joel says, there are approaches like codeless coding currently. Just, yeah, you just do coding without touching to any code so that it will happen itself. So with the level of automation we have right now, and with AI and machine learning penetration into our field, into testing field, can we see someday in near future testless testing? is it a possibility? It means that, yeah, we are producing everything in a high quality manner that we would not need any testing at all. Can it be the case? Or again, will it be open to errors? Because there will be less and less human touch. If we have codeless coding, if AI is doing the coding, so then do you think that majority of testing would disappear because everything would be built with a high quality without any errors? And because most of the time humans are creating errors. So what do you think about this philosophy, my dear friend?
Okay, let me be the first one with the answer. It depends. But real seriously, one more comment to this, my previous friends that talk. Recently learned that it's already new trend in the AI, that XAI. It's not mean unit text, but it's mean explainable AI. And this is something that we are talking about. So if you want to Google, go ahead and find this. And about your question, Barış. So, well, the question was so long, so I didn't forget what you're asking about. Oh, kidding. I think that short, it's not possible. And why? For example, let's imagine how is the current situation right now, why the developers cannot test but their own code. Because it's obvious, the same person developed the code and they cannot have it be responsible for validation. Let's remove people and let's put AI. Do you think that whether AI which generate the code will be able to do any validation? I don't think so. This is the one thing. The other thing is that you cannot assume that the code that will be generated by AI, it's flawless. Let's think how let's say ChatGPT, when the data comes from to ChatGPT to learn, it comes from the internet, from the public resource of the code. And this, comparing to the example that Joel mentioned, that the code there, it's not flawless. This is the code which has a lot of the issues itself. So you cannot depend on even the big and the best, model which consume all the code which is on the Stack Overflow, and depends on the quality of this code as well. And the other thing, the testing itself, no, again, brain. So we need to figure out the AI can help you to prepare some kind of checklist, what kind of testing methodology or what are the techniques, just to check yourself that whether I use this or not. But this is kind of help. This is the tool that will be helpful for you if you learn how to use it in the efficient way. But never I expect situation that you will ask, hey, ChatGPT, can you test this software? Because on the end of the day, there's a business decision. And I will give it back you the question that if you have, let's say, 100 euro, can you risk your 100 euro to be validated by ChatGPT? Probably yes. But if the amount of the money is 1,000 or 1 million euro, can you risk your money asking ChatGPT for validation? It's your time, Barış.
If you don't have so much money, yeah, if you have so much money, maybe yes. If not, I don't know. I need to think it more. But yeah, maybe it would be mandatory in future. You will not be able to do it by yourself. I don't know. We will, yeah, when I see futuristic videos or sessions, most of the things are not validated. When the time comes, we are having a different situation. When I was in primary school, they asked us, yeah, just draw year 2000. My drawing is, disgusting, of course, but yeah, I tried to put there a lot of things. Nothing happened that way. It was completely another story, but with a small brain in that position. Currently, if you again ask me the same thing, yeah, I cannot draw really what will happen. I think none of us would have that power to do that.
Definitely, that's why those questions is so
agree.
good for the children, and maybe it's gonna surprise you or not. In Poland, we have the same. The young children are being asked, "Let's draw something." I don't know, 2014 now, 14 or 15 now. So yeah,
I agree.
this we
Maybe
have in
we
common.
get back to basics. That could be another option. So from this point, I will be going to Olivier. And yeah, he was having a great responsibility in the last 4 years with the ISTQB. So I would love to ask you the question from that lens, from that perspective. So how do you feel that ISTQB, do you think that is responding well to the changes in the industry, in testing domain? So, and what are the plans to be shared with the audience? So how can you tell us the plans and strategies?
Okay, thank you. So, yeah, with regards to do we respond well or not, this is up to the market to tell us. But I think that we are trying very hard, for sure, to address these kind of concerns. So, regarding AI, we have issued a syllabus on AI. We're now basically the kind of challenge that we are facing today is to enlarge a little bit the vision of the ISTQB and not being only focusing on how to say that. Pure testing per se, but we look more at the career paths in a whole. We look more at the holistic picture as a whole, because we see that the market is changing. We see that the careers are changing, and we are trying to address that with alliances, with different approaches, different kind of syllabus, reforming completely the ISTQB portfolio. So there are loads of big stuff that are happening and that we are working on in order to address these sort of topics. And definitely, well, the ISTQB is not there to write the future before the future is written, because we are one way after the future is going to be written. But I think that we now have an organization that is stable enough and agile enough to address these concerns or these changes in a fast pace. And this is, yeah, definitely this is a challenge. This was a challenge, a greater challenge in the past, and is still a challenge, but we are addressing it, definitely.
Yeah, exactly. And I am agreeing with you totally, because as a trainer, having maybe 8-9 certifications in the ISTQB schema, when I visit the site, and I think that I'm visiting it regularly, but I see many differentiation points. So it is evolving day by day. And I am a very related person. So that means that you have a pace. That means that, yeah, you are also listening, and I think is a really proactive organization from that perspective. Not all the non-profit technology-driven organizations are like that, but for ISTQB, I have the same feelings. So thank you again. And now, Joel, coming back to you with another question about related to ISTQB. ISTQB never talks about any tools, you know it. So tools are temporary, processes are permanent, or testing is forever, tools are temporary, is the approach. Maybe currently we have Selenium, maybe 6 months or 5 years later we will have Helium, I don't know. Some other tool could occupy the place, yes, but every night and day, with every week, every month, tools are becoming more critical. I don't know if you have the same feelings. Maybe 10 years ago, they were just tools, and we were the ones who are doing the job. But in the current situation, I think they are critical actors. I don't know if you agree or not. So they are, in many cases, they do most of the job. And in near future, maybe they will do 95% of the process. So as an outsider or an insider of ISTQB, would you expect a syllabi or a course or something related to tools that would be more dynamically refreshing itself, because it should refresh itself more dynamically? You cannot wait 4 years because within 4 years you will have 6 different versions of Selenium, for instance. That would be maybe what should ISTQB do in order to fulfill people who wants to learn tools, but they could not find the answer in ISTQB?
Okay, so basically you made two questions in one, right? So let me try to answer the first one regarding the tools. Yes, and the tools, they were always important. If you look to the human history, if you look to ancient sites, they are always looking for tools, and the tools made the evolution of the humankind, right? Since the beginning, when we start to hunt, when we started then to build tools to be more efficient in the daily tasks, right? It's not different with the software testing. So the tools will help us to improve our daily tasks, to be more efficient, to do more with less, right? Again, funny story. Some years ago, I was interviewing someone and said, "Oh, I have some experience with performance testing." I said, "Okay, what you did? What tool did you use?" And funny enough, he said, "Oh, we didn't use any tool." Say, how come? You are talking about web performance testing? Yes. And you didn't use any tool? I said, no. So how come? You know? So you can imagine open space. I said it was during the weekend, so we just invited everyone to come to the office during the weekend, and then it was a big open space, and one guy was in the top of the open space, and then it just yelled saying, "Okay, let's start now," and everyone was pushing the button at the same time. Well, this is one way of doing performance
Human-powered load testing, huh?
yeah. So at that moment, I was, of course, saying, "Okay, next candidate, please." But of course, now you can imagine that we have, better ways of doing this, right? So we have tools that help us to get not just faster results, more results, more trustable results, right? Especially if we are talking about performance testing, but not just performance testing, all the other kind of tests. And sometimes we are talking about tools and our brain goes to test automation. And again, it goes to execution, but we can use and we should use tools. So for example, the talks that we had before about test design, right? So we can and we should use tools that help us with test design, that help us with creating test data, that help us to do defect management. In our days, no one is thinking about doing, well, let me rephrase. We still have teams that are doing defect management using Excel files. But again, it's a tool also, yes, but we have better tools to do that. So tools will always be there. Moving to the second question, if ISTQB will create a syllabus about a specific tool. And of course, I'm just one of the members of ISTQB. As I said before, we have a huge community behind ISTQB. It's not one or two persons. Personally, I don't think we will do that. Okay, never say never, but personally, I don't believe we will be doing that, because the moment that we do that, we start to endorse a specific tool. Even if it's an open source tool, that means that we are endorsing a tool. So I don't see ourselves as an ISTQB organization to endorse a specific tool. We always try to avoid being on that side. And we are not trying to cover all the market, all the market needs. So yes, there is a need in the market for specific training on specific tools. And there are other entities in the market, tool providers, training providers that will provide that kind of workshops, that kind of training. But as ISTQB, I don't see us coming into that part. Okay.
Thank you. So from this point, I would take it to Szilard, and I want to have his opinion on practice versus theory. This is always a criticism of the ISTQB portfolio. Yeah, of course, without theory, you can have practice. Without practice, you may have theory. They could be distinctive things. to have on your body. But yeah, but for many people, ISTQB remains on the theory and conceptual and philosophical part, which is deeply critical. But if you are the president, so if you are a president of, I think you would be in future also. You deserve it, my dear friend. So maybe if they leave you the chair, you can.
I need to jump, right?
I'm telling it to all of you here. So one of you already did it, yeah, but the rest also deserving it with your passion and efforts. So just tell me, what would you do to make it, to push it a little bit to the practical side? Is there any option to do that? Any possibility, or should it remain conceptual? What do you think about this as an individual?
Well, challenging question, and maybe you heard someone saying that, Szilard, you are so much of a theoretical guy. So maybe that's why you point that to me, but I'm trying. Yeah. Surprise, surprise. I would brought in one more terminology here because I'm theoretical. So we talk about theory and we talk about practice, but what we also need to think about is principles. Principles of how to do things. What are the base? What are the fundamentals of doing things? And let me talk about the theory and why we need that foundation. This is needed as a language we talk. We need as a domain that everybody in the profession understands. So when we talk with professional testers, they understand what do I mean by designing a test, or executing or reporting, or when Joel is making jokes on bug and reporting, and then we understand exactly what he means with a bug, with a Bugzilla, or with a fault management tool. So it's not only theory and not only about high-level conversations, after 5 beers that, okay, is this better or that better or whatever. It's really to set the base of the profession. So from that point of view, it's very important for me, especially. Now, the other thing is that people say that theory without practice doesn't mean anything. So that's also true, that we need to be able to help people on the day-to-day job. So naming a bug, well, it's nice. Now I see you are a tester, we can talk, but how do you use it? How a bug helps you? And how to handle it, how to teach the team. I'm a coach, so I'm coaching the teams to why is it important to structure bug management? What does it help you to have a fault management process, etc. But how to make it actually practical? That's the big leap, and that's what we all need to do. So from theory through principles, getting to practicalities. And I think this is, in ISTQB, I believe that we outsource that activity to the training providers. They are the ones making examples in their training courses. They are the ones who are building the whole training structure and make it from theory to practical. They are the ones, bringing it to a level of applicability. And I like to work with clients where I do understand their domain. So I can actually translate the theory to their language, translate the principles to their problems. So I think we need that gap, but I don't see that is ISTQB itself who needs to do that. We have the big community, as Joel said, and that community is the one helping us to bring this theory principle to the practical level.
Nice, a good answer. Thank you. So why would I need a certification, Olivier? Tell me a certification. Why would I need a paper? Yeah, I pay for it. I study for the exam. So why would I do that? I already do testing, and I am reputable, and people are believing in me, and I do my job good. So why should I invest on a paper, says some people, not me. I am earning money from that. So it's good that not everyone is in that thinking, but some, yes, they are even in a very harsh way. Some people are criticizing these things. Rapidly jump onto the things and do testing and believe in yourself. Practice is the king, so on and so forth. So why would you invest in a certification?
Yeah, this is one of the common criticism. I will address that one, and I will address another one if you allow me right after, because this is the kind of stuff where the ISTQB is often criticized, and I can understand that. But being provocative, why do you need a university degree? Why do you need to go to school? Why do you need to have a license to drive your car? You know, this is about showing that you at least practiced or know a couple of things. And the benefit is not having the paper. The benefit is, as Szilard mentioned a couple of minutes ago, sharing some kind of concept, sharing some kind of, philosophical or theoretical background, sharing the same language. And this is also something that I often hear from some training providers, and I know that's definitely not you, Barış, for sure. But some are saying, well, my training is better than the ISTQB, so why do you get a certification with those guys? Well, and it might be true that some trainings are better and that some syllabi contents or whatever they call it is better than what we do. But the big difference is in the ISTQB, as we mentioned earlier, we are about 70 boards all over the place, all over the world. And the syllabus is the result of a big consensus of practices that are run all over the world. And we agree on some terms, on some practices, on some theoretical background, on some language. And it takes a lot of time, but this is recognized all over the world. And this is what makes it much more precious than this kind of little isolated gem. This is, the difference of something that is renowned all over the world and known and recognized all over the world, and something that is just in your all little field of interest. And this is the big difference, and this is why this certification is important. And now, of course, you have the big shortcut here today, which is, this certification is renowned, and because it is renowned, employers and HR departments praise it because they believe that it has a certain value, and it has for sure. So this is the easy way to show that at least you know what you're talking about in terms of testing, and you have the first step of knowing what you're talking about. It doesn't make you a fantastic tester all in all, because there's still some practice to be done. There's still some things to be learned, but at least you have this basic knowledge. You have the first step, you have the foundation basically. And if you want to go a little bit further in the scheme, then you have all these specialists or these advanced level kind of skills where you learn a little bit more about your job. It still doesn't make you a test manager per se, because you still need to practice, you still need to see what the project is, you still need to interact with human beings. So this is not the end of the story, but this is putting you on the right track for the journey.
Thank you so much. I am satisfied with your answer, and
Thank you.
why not? Seba, I don't know, in the past, the things you do with ISTQB, you were related to that part, but ISTQB consists of several different syllabi. Am I right? So, yes. Maybe the very base is the foundation level syllabi, and then we have distinctive syllabi on agile part, on specialist part, on the managerial and advanced level, and so on and so forth. Okay, but there is no one literature, one is like body of knowledge. I knew that it was a project, or it was a working group. I remember it was working group of, I think, South Africa were involved in that part, Corne, if I'm not wrong. But we don't have a body of knowledge. This is what I am jealous of. When you look at business analysis, they have body of knowledge. Business architecture, so many areas, maybe DevOps, product management, they all create some central and comprehensive thing, but in our portfolio, they are all divided and distributed, which is nice. But do you also need that we need to have a body of knowledge? And what if you know also, is there a project going on? Tell me.
Okay, indeed, yes, we also identified this as a kind of issue that we need to address. I'm talking about ISTQB, and currently not in South Africa, but in Canada, there is one lady which took this big challenge to prepare that kind of stuff, and currently there is one vendor which is preparing some kind of software which gives you all that information that you're expecting from the ISTQB. So stay tuned. I cannot say what kind of date. I really hope it will be quick, but it still require a lot of time because the project, let's say, it's still getting into the speed, but those will be soon available.
Then it will be like an authority, and that would be like a tester's encyclopedia, or testing and quality related things would be consolidated in a single place, which would be easy to study. And yeah, that would be nice. Thank you. It was good.
Maybe just to jump in there. So take the set of syllabus as the body of knowledge, right? All the text which is in our syllabus is the body of knowledge.
Yeah.
So there, it's just not in a differently combined or provided way as, for example, with the Scaled Agile or the large enterprise scale Scrum, where you have a very visual board that you click around and then you get to the details or articles. But the body of knowledge is the totality of our syllabi text. So it's there. It just need to be provided in a structured way. And that's what
I agree. So that is what I really look for. That would be very nice. And I have my notes here. Okay, let me continue from this point. Joel. Okay. When you look at the current portfolio of ISTQB, do you think there should be additions, anything missing? For instance, if you ask me, currently testing is penetrating into the development life cycle. Am I right? Maybe 10 years ago, this was not the case. We were talking about it distinctively. That would be another process, another phase. Some other people are doing it, but with Agile and DevOps, everything is integrated into each other. It means that you are a developer doing testing, code quality is important, you have coding standards, you need to have a pipeline. Those, if you ask me, I won't see them easily in the portfolio. Yes, when there is new versions, we have some touch points to those things, some fruits that you can collect, but I don't see. If I see the portfolio, it's like, again, it's like a distinctive thing, which is not maybe deeply correlated to the development lifecycle, application lifecycle management. What do you think about it? Is there any room for improvement in that zone, or do you know anything is coming, or do you think anything should be done?
Well, it looks like you are not just saving some controversial questions to Szilard, you are also giving some to me. And I have a very, I would say, strong opinion. As you know me, I'm a guy with strong opinions. And again, it's my opinion. It's not ISTQB, or it does not mean that everyone in ISTQB agrees with that. To be honest, when looking to the portfolio, my personal opinion, I think we went too far already. Okay, because, and I believe that all the other panelists will agree with me. The basics are the same. No matter if you are testing, a gaming or portal or a mobile app or even AI. So the basic techniques are the same, and they will need to be there. And sometimes we try to have deeper specialization without getting the basics. Okay, looking to the development side. So all of us here, we still remember the full stack, right? At that moment, there was not even full stack. It was just a developer, and he was able to write code for whatever layer, right? We had the database layer or connection to the database. We had the business logic. We have the interface, and that was just development. And then we start talking about full stack, and full stack was basically the old guys, right? The old developers that were able to do everything. The new guys, they are database, they are back-end developers, they are front-end developers. So we start to have the specialization, these silos. And in my opinion, that's not helping the full picture, okay? Yes, we can get better guys on the front end, we can get better guys on the back end. But then if you ask the front end what is happening with the data, say, I don't know. I just delivered to this backend API, and I don't know whatever happens with that. And then you go to the backend and say, I don't know. I just received this data. I don't know where it comes from. And then I just send it somewhere to the database, okay? And when you need to troubleshoot a defect, you need to bring these 20 guys into a single room, and then you start playing this game that is pushing the bug over the fence, right? You know, this game for the kids when you have a bomb and you need to pass the bomb before it explodes in our hands. That's the image that comes to my mind when we are in a troubleshooting meeting in these days. Everyone is trying to push the bomb over the fence. So that's, in my opinion, the disadvantage when you try to go so much deeper into the specialization. And I'm afraid that if we start building specific syllabus for specific business areas, we end up again in the same type of problem. So it will hurt more than it will bring benefit. That's my opinion. By the other side, and as I said before, we are also a non-profit and we are a volunteer organization. All of the guys here in this panel. So we have our daily work, right? That pays the bills. We also have the ISTQB volunteer work and also the volunteer work of our local member boards. Besides that, we are still getting time to learn, to keep learning, and to keep sharing what we learn, our knowledge with the communities. So if you look to the testers right now today, most of them say, oh, I don't even have time to go to a conference. So we need to prepare all of that. We need to do all of that. And we are also, as a volunteers, working on new syllabus. So if we start to split and to specialize all those syllabus, it also requires a lot of effort on our side to keep them updated, to keep them valuable for the market, okay, for the end users that are the testers community. So in summary, I will say no, we should not do further specialization. As I said before, I think we already went probably a step too far. But again, that's my strong opinion. It does not mean that is the overall ISTQB position.
Fully. So now,
Can I start agreeing? No?
I will come to you with the next question, Szilard. First, let me finish this with Olivier. So Olivier, simplicity versus sophistication, which one do you prefer, is the first question. And also, when you see the current portfolio, do you think, when you look at, for instance, business analysis, there is the body of knowledge, and there are several levels, and that's it. Like Joel said, I could also agree with that in a way. because all the testing is now being consolidated. I also agree on that. So because a tester is doing performance testing, we expect him to do automation. We expect them to also get their hands dirty with manual testing. So those people, we don't see them so often. So I am a performance tester. Yeah. Do you do automation? No, I cannot. But if you need load testing, I am here. Yeah, I am an automation guy. Yeah, what about yeah, I don't like it. So I don't observe those things really. So from a perspective, as a follower of the portfolio, maybe in some of my dreams, I dream of having more simpler and consolidated and crowned with the body of knowledge. What do you think about this part?
You're also kind of a visionary, because we're basically working on that sort of approach actually. So this is something that we that is some kind of a strong debate today within the ISTQB actually. And to answer your first question, I think that simplicity is the most sophisticated answer that we can ever provide. Now that being said, we are addressing a very difficult part of the market today, because people don't think in the same terms as we used to think, let's say 20 years ago. 20 years ago, you started your career as a tester and you wanted to become a test manager, and then becoming some sort of expert QA manager, something like that. And this was more or less this kind of career path. This career path still exists, and this is what we call the core. This is the simple part. And then today we have all these kind of mix-up that comes from the agile trends today, where people are supposed to be doing a little bit of everything, that quality is everyone's business, and so on and so forth. We have these loads of new technologies that are appearing that challenge the tester on their skills and know-how, and they need to learn new tools, new techniques, new approach, new this, new that, and so on and so forth. So we try to address this more holistically, as I said, with the career path. And this is basically enlarging the scope, not even only to the ISTQB, but also trying to have a kind of, transversal view, of holistic view on things like requirements engineering, things like auditing, things like business analysis that are doing a lot of testing as well. Maybe now we're looking at software architecture. So we are digging into different areas and making sure that we understand each other, that we can consolidate the knowledge and the know-how in order to produce better pieces of software and build a career all over that. Because you cannot say today that I will enter there in a company and I will become a tester and I will grow that way. It might be that you will be forced to touch a little bit of AI, to touch a little bit of performance, as you said. And this with the specialist stream, and as I said, we are completely changing the vision on the portfolio. Stay tuned, it will come, but we're working on that. And the way that you crawl your career within the portfolio will change, for sure. So again, stay tuned. But basically speaking, we want to help all these guys to find their way within the ISTQB portfolio, and whether it is a little bit of test management, but a little bit of, I don't know, automotive, because you're working for an automotive factory at a certain moment in time, or whether it is outside the ISTQB with alliance like IREP or IQBBA or others. We want to provide some kind of, home for the quality guys all over the place. And make sure that we are aligned with our peers and fellow colleagues of other disciplines. So that's how we build it, and that's how I see it.
To encourage people to have more and more contribution through the world. Yes, I understood it, but also from a perspective of mine is we are creating paradox of choice. From a perspective, because many people, they are asking me which one to choose. I am also doing automation, but doing some security checks at the same time I do, because currently in today's world, there is no approach like this is not my job. Currently, everyone is doing everyone's job with the agile penetration and DevOps. So that is why, if you ask me, everyone is related to all the things. I am a technical test analyst, but I am a non-technical test analyst. So those things are I don't think they are valid currently. Currently, everyone is doing everything. There are specializations. Yes, I agree. There are some points to be highlighted, but maybe not a portfolio like that, because when I am the selling point, is hard to convince people on those things and to tell them the difference. Of course, there are different. Yeah, but again, if there is consolidation, I think everyone will benefit from it.
Yep.
Is the final thing, and you already told it. And I will go back to Szilard and then to Seba, and we will finish the round. Maybe I will have one more question from the crowd.
Can I just add a little thing on top based on what you said? One of the big challenge today with the ISTQB, and Seba introduced the body of knowledge, and this is definitely a project that is running and that is developing. One of our challenge was to make sure that there's as little as possible overlaps between one syllabus and the other. So we try to get rid, and foundation is really foundation. That is the starting point, as we decided. And we tend to remove anything that is not foundation and push it to other syllabi or the other way around, so that there's no overlap. We're not going to teach foundation in each and every syllabus. That is the message. So if we want to go for a specialist, this will be dealing with the specialist stuff. And the basic concepts are already supposed to be known. So that's, cleaning and grooming the scheme is also part of the job. So I'm not interrupting you anymore.
Yeah, it was nice. For instance, with test analyst and foundation level, maybe more than 70% was a little bit correlated. Yes, very happy to learn it. Perfect. Thank you so much. I'm going to Szilard. My time is ticking, so be quick, guys. Szilard, yeah, you have been in different countries, different companies, doing different jobs through your career. So do you think that a company should also benefit from ISTQB? Because most of the people, they say that ISTQB is for individuals and for their career development. Yeah, but I mean directly, if I am a company and I'm investing on ISTQB, maybe I'm getting a partner of it, or I am attending events, or I pay for my people to get certified. Yeah, okay, for them it is improvement. I understand, for people, for individuals, but how can I benefit from it as a company? Is it good for me, ISTQB?
Yeah, you mentioned I've been working. So one of the big companies I worked with was Nokia, and there Nokia was doing testing for its own products, right? For its own services. It was not selling testing. It was selling high quality products. So there we benefited in that, together with the whole, really the large company, HR and academy people, we said that yes, testers should have, anyone in the testing path should have ISTQB foundation level at least. And actually I was able to get the whole budget within the whole company in some of the years, that whoever wants to get there gets this testing foundation at least. And then I think 10% of them to get to advanced level as well. So that was like a benefit, how you benefit from ISTQB, to have certified testers, to have the education. And we are talking about international company. So every location, they reached out to the local tester and training provider. So even their people get to be connected with the local community, testing community. So many people actually stood out from there and went to conferences later on and things like that. So that is one approach. I also, of course, know the other companies as well who are like providing testing services, and they benefit from being an ISTQB partner, right? Different levels, silver, gold, and then the global partner, showing that yes, you have ISTQB knowledge within, you follow world-class best practices. Let's use that tiny word, right? Let me repeat, world-class best practices. And then you have people with the knowledge and you with the experience as well. So again, you are not selling certifications. You are selling professional testers and projects, or take-in work, whatever. But that's the other benefit. And I think that everyone around the world is actually getting the benefit through the whole quality mindset improving all around the world. So by shouting out and having testing conferences and having testing meetups and sitting here and discussing about testing, we actually improve the quality of the software all around the world. Quality of AI, quality of gaming, quality of automotive, quality from anything. And you know that software is everywhere. You will not be able to avoid software in your life, like very hardly. So software quality is contributing to your life quality at the end of the day, or at least not ruining it.
Very nice.
So
Yeah. Please.
I see these as layers of benefits.
Yeah, I agree. For each and every company delivering their own software and doing testing for themselves, I think it is providing a common understanding and language. It is still a very big benefit. Fully agree. And for the ones who are selling their services, testing services, for some tenders even, companies are looking for certified testers to do the job for themselves. So for them to have been in a position in a tender, to be in competition, they need to have that. Also, that is also the other side. Very, very good points you made. Thank you so much. And from the thing that you have mentioned, let me tie it to my next question. You see, everything is tied together, dear panelists. So you know that I am a smart guy, so I took your things and then convert them into questions. So yeah, within a blink of an eye, we are in the end. So Seba, do the ending, my dear friend, and tell me, okay, maybe different practice areas, different syllabi. Okay, I accept it. Different industries, different syllabi. What is your position and thinking about it? For instance, there is automotive and industry tester or gambling industry tester. We have some, but most of the industries are absent, of course. If you try to cover all the industries, you may end up 500 different syllabi, of course. So what do you think about it? Testing is universal, or should it be correlated to each and every industry, or at least the most crowded and popular ones? What should be the position of ISTQB here?
It was already mentioned here on the call that we are agile organization and we are adapting to the feedback from the market. This would be my official answer, but you ask me what I'm thinking individually, personally. So I think that stream of the specialist in our portfolio is very specific stream, and this is the example how we would like to address the needs of the market and the knowledge that we should give to the community. And this is not always that the industrial driven. It's also the methodological driven. It's also that it's anything that could be, make distinguish. It's driven. So we have a game link tester for sure, but we have mobile stuff. We have AI testing. We have model-based testing. We have automotive. So we have from different contexts, we are covering what is important and what is critical for the certain group of the our people, so our community. And as soon as we think and we identify that kind of need, we should react, and this is what ISTQB is doing. We are reacting for that kind of needs, and this is the biggest value of the ISTQB, that this is the community of the testers, and we are addressing the issues that the tester used to have and they having. So yeah, that would be my answer for my deep heart.
Thank you so much. So you also worked hard during the panel and you answered questions in a written way. Thank you, guys, especially Seba and Joel did those. So I don't have any questions. So now let me finish with a different. So just tell me one sentence as an ending about the future of testing, about your wishes to the community, and maybe you can combine it to ISTQB. If anyone is ready, you can go. So just your last sentence for the day as a wish or anything to close? Stage is yours, guys. Who is coming first? Yes, Joel, please.
Just a simple one to all the testers out there. Keep learning, okay? Keep growing.
Thank you.
Okay, shall I? So to everyone out there, you have a future. This is a brilliant future, definitely. So don't give up and keep on testing.
Thank you so much.
Maybe going next. So even the whole testing and the whole industry goes as industrial, as technical as it can be, we still need inhuman, in-person testers. So keep up your humanity while you learn about technology. Thank you for having me.
Very nice. And
So I'm the last one. So I would say that two things. Let's keep the engineering thinking and let's be critical thinking in your daily work.
And let me end this by my own quotation from myself, my dear friends. Life is a test. Every human is a tester, is my ending. So yeah, you need to know that every human being, in a way or so, is a tester. So life is also a test from the beginning till the end. Yes, very nice. Thank you so much. I love you all, and I will see you near soon. Thank you so much for being
Thank
here.
you, Barış.
Thank you.
Stay
It's a
safe.
small world. See you around.
Thank
Thank you,
you.
guys.